I'm going to make it simple for you, and I'm going to list off each of the major sites, if and when their opening times are, and when I think the best time for you to visit is to avoid the majority of the crowds. Kyoto was not my favourite city to visit in Japan. I know, it's sad. In fact, I think it was probably in the lower half of that list. But my expectations were a tranquil city with some incredible shrines, and whilst that's partly true, here are a few things I wish that I'd known before visiting the soul of Japan. Kyoto, whilst idolised and dreamt of as this tranquil town, is actually a thriving city, and when I first got there, even though I'd done a lot of research, I was still surprised at A, how big it was, and B, how many people were really there. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you've done your own research and you've seen the crowds of people at some of the iconic spots. And whilst I'm going to try and help you avoid that in this video, it's worth noting that this is just a busy city. And if you're expecting it to be a larger version of somewhere like Takayama, you'll likely be disappointed. So my first tip is to really enjoy the city and the shrines together, because both are really a key part of Kyoto. One of the problems that Kyoto does face alongside crowds of people is that the city was never really built for the amount of people that are there now. Therefore, there's only 2 metro lines. And so if you're coming from Tokyo or Osaka, this will be a big change. Luckily, there are a lot of regular buses that traverse the city, but keep in mind that these 2 can get particularly busy on certain routes that do go to key stops. The metro stops also don't go to a number of iconic locations such as Kinkaku Temple, and this makes choosing where to stay both difficult and easy. In my opinion, downtown Kyoto and Higashiyama Ward are probably going to be your best picks, as you're not too far from both Kyoto Main Station, the Karasuma line, and the Tozai line. This will save you a small amount of time when it comes to getting around the city and to those tourist locations as well. However, we didn't listen to any of this advice, as we wanted to stay in this traditional townhouse accommodation. And honestly, as long as you can cope with a bit of walking and a bus service, you'll be absolutely fine staying in the majority of the city. Now the big thing, the crowds. Yes, you're a part of them, and yes, you'll probably never avoid them entirely, but you can do your best to enjoy some of the top sites without thousands of other people in your shot. I'm going to make it simple for you, and I'm going to list off each of the major sites, if and when their opening times are, and when I think the best time for you to visit is to avoid the majority of the crowds. Arashiyama Bamboo Forest, open 24 hours a day. If you're going in the summer, you could try a late evening slot when it's still light, but for winter, definitely the 6 to 8 AM period is your best bet. If you're happy to get up earlier, that's totally up to you, but honestly, the crowds don't generally start gathering here until about 7:30 to late onwards. Arashiyama Monkey Park, open from 9 AM, and you can get here super easily from the bamboo forest, so it makes sense to plan it in so you get here just as it opens after visiting the bamboo forest. If you walk quickly up the hill to the monkey park at the top, you'll be one of the first ones up there, and that's just such a good experience. You don't even need it to be empty, just not heaving, and it's honestly so worth it. Kiyomizu-dera. This shrine was the one I was looking forward to the most, and my favourite shrine in Japan that I saw. This one and the streets around it to see the Yasaka Pagoda are probably the most difficult ones to get right though, because the temple has an early closing time. Therefore, and I really hate to say it, getting here at 6 AM is so crucial if you want the fewest crowds. The classic photo spot on the street you can do 24 hours, so that's totally up to you what kind of photo you want to get. We got to the temple around 7:40 and it was already noticeably busy. But then by the time we left around 9 AM, the crowds coming up were just absolutely horrible. Kinkaku Temple. Okay, so for me, this one is the least important to get right with your timings. Obviously, first or last thing at 9 AM when it opens or 5 PM when it closes is going to be the most ideal, but we simply couldn't do that with the timings we had. And although it was very busy at peak times around 12, your photos and videos don't suffer too much purely based on the positioning of it. You'll only have to deal with severe overstimulation and claustrophobia, but again, the pictures aren't affected, so no one has to know. Fushimi Inari. Come at night, it's just that simple. Go at night, please go at night. It's so cool. We were there from around 9:15 in the evening in November, and it was so quiet with only the occasional person. But not only is it quiet, but the vibes at night are unreal. Just make sure you time it around train times and don't miss the last one you need. My last general tip about Kyoto is embrace the city side of it. I can't stress this enough, you cannot get away from the built-up metropolitan part of the city, and trying to imagine Kyoto as this oasis of calm will inevitably lead you to be disappointed. Take the old with the new and enjoy places like Nishiki Market, the restaurants, and if you're a massive nerd like me, the Ghibli shops, the Nintendo store and the Pokemon Center. If you are potentially looking at a more traditional, quiet town, I've got our full Japan trip breakdown here, and I'll add some specific recommendations in a new video too. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video.